All right, virtual learners, I'm about to teach you one of my most favorite strategies for counting money, making a dollar. This is a very efficient strategy for counting large collections of coins. Students in school, they're usually okay if you have some bills and a few coins counting that, especially by third grade, but if you give them a large group of coins, this is where students really start to struggle, and it's really important to help them come up with a logical way that they can organize the coins that they have in front of them to be able to use number and number sense to figure out the total value of the coins. So this video is going to be a good video for anyone that is teaching money value of coin collections in either second or third grade. So the first one is the second grade standard that aligns to this lesson, and the next two are third grade standards. The difference that you're going to see is in second grade, students are required to understand the groups of coins to $2 or less. So they're going to be able to make $1 and then have leftovers, or only have just $2. I usually find that I can go higher than that in second grade. In third grade, they're going to be working on doing coins and bills, but still the coins is always the hang up. That's the thing you want to focus on. For a total value of $5 or less, both of those grades are going to have to compare the sets. So let me show you some prerequisite skills for this standard. In order to understand how to use the make a dollar strategy, then you need to first understand that 4 quarters make $1. You need to understand multiple ways to make 25 cents. So that can be done through a lot of expiration, 5 nickels, 25 pennies, a dime, 2 nickels and 5 pennies. There's so many ways to make 25 cents, and kids love to explore that. My favorite way to make 25 cents without a quarter is 2 dimes and a nickel, because it's just like 2 tens and a 5. And then of course they need to know all their coins and their coin values. All right, so let's get started. First thing I said was important was that they understood that 4 quarters made $1. How I usually teach this is I use a beaded number line. I show them a quarter. And I ask them the value. I usually pre-assess and make sure that's not a quarter. Make sure that students know all the coins and their values, and I ask them, how much is that coin worth? And they tell me a quarter is worth 25 cents, and I tell them to clip off 25 beads on their beaded number line. On the beaded number line, you can see that 25 is 2 groups of 10 and then 5. So then I ask them, okay, well, if you know what 1 quarter is, how much do you think 2 quarters would be? So they know that they then have to then work to clip off another 25. Now on the second 25, I have them use that 5 first and then the 2 groups of 10 to make 25. And then they can see what 2 quarters is. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, so 25.50. Okay, then after I do that, I give them another quarter. I say, okay, so how much do you think 3 quarters would be? So if 2 quarters, that's 25, 50. I know I'm going to be adding another 25 onto my 50 to get the value of 3 quarters. So I can do 50 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5. So I was up to 50, right? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Plus 10 is 60. Plus 10 is 70. Plus 5 would be 75. And then after I do that, I add on my last quarter. Okay, what do you think 4 quarters would get us up to? And then we would add on our last 25. So I could do 75 and 5. It doesn't matter what order. You could do 75, 85, 95, $1, or you can go 75 plus 5 would be 80, 90, $1. So then they learn this super important thing, that 4 quarters is the same as $1. So I teach them to represent that like this. I just make a dollar frame as a rectangle. And I have them make 4 spaces to represent 4 quarters makes $1. All right, let me get some sets of coins going on here so I can show you what this might look like in the classroom. Now, some teachers, they use, they let kids grab handfuls one student grabs one handful and another student grabs another handful, they have to count their total number of coins and see who has the highest value, so you can kind of play like a money war. There's so many different games that you can do to do this. So I'm going to put my second collection on my second board, and I'm going to show you how we can use this make a dollar strategy here. All right, so students might think, they might overgeneralize and think, oh, well, if I have more coins, that's going to be a higher value. And that's often one of the misconceptions. It'll always be an answer choice on a test where they have one that has more coins, but it's a smaller value because the coins don't have as much value as the coins in the other set. So I don't even know how much this is, but let's go ahead and try to make dollars, okay? So say I have this group. First thing I want students to do is try to find as many quarters as they can to see how close they can get to a dollar. So I'm bringing up all my quarters here. All right, I got to 3 quarters. That's 75 cents, but now I ran out of quarters. This is a point where students start freaking out. Sometimes students have a hard time going from 75 to do 10 more is 85, 95, $1.05. They have a hard time counting on. And in reality, even though I do want students to be able to do 10 more than any number, switching between those counting patterns, adding 10 more and then adding 5 more and then adding 1 more is a lot of mental work. And even if you can do it, that's not the most efficient strategy. So if I know I need 1 more quarter, I can make the quarter. My favorite way I told you guys to make the quarter is 2 dimes and a nickel. That's not the only way you can make it, but now you can see I've made that dollar, right? So then I can take my coins and organize them up from the highest value to the least value. Okay, so at this point I can see that I have $1 up here. I can't make another dollar. So students might say 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, so $1.29. Or some students might say, look, I can make another quarter. So it's $1.25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So this set is $1.29, or I can write that also as 129 cents. Now let me take a look at this set. Remember, I'm going to pull all those quarters, any quarters that I can first, and I know that 4 quarters makes $1. Ooh, on this one I was able to make $1. Yay. Okay, all right. I think I got all my quarters. Okay, so now that I have all my quarters, I might be able to make another $1 here. And if you can, try to make another $1. I'm gonna do, you could do another $1. Let's do quarters. You do 25. 25, do I have another? Oh, I do have another dime and a nickel. If not, I was ready to pull 2 nickels because that's the same as a dime. And that's 5, 10, 15, 24. So you could have students, I'm going to think of these 2 nickels as a 10 and these as a 10. Because I can go $1, 25.50, so that's $1.50. I'll say this is $1. This is 50 cents. So that's $1.50. This is 10 plus 10. That's 20 cents. So I'm up to $1.50, 60, 70, and 4 more would be $1.74 or 174 cents. Now, if you had students that didn't want to make quarters with these, that's okay too. They could have just done their dimes and then just thought of those nickels, adding on those nickels. I do encourage students to think of nickels as 10s also, because any time that they can make those numbers 10s and 1s and we can make it look like our regular number system, they're less likely to make mistakes. So students might also say something like, they might think about it as $1, 10, 20, 30, 40, plus this 10, and this 10, and this 10. So that's, you might even have students that want to keep track on the bottom. It's okay if you keep track like this, 40, 50, 60, 70, and then 71, 72, 73, 74. Or some students like to just have the values under there to remind themselves. That's 10, that's 10, that's 10, that's 10. These 2 nickels make 10, these 2 nickels make 10, these 2 nickels make 10. Pennies are each 1 cent. So now I can see I have 4, 5, 7 10s and 4 1s. That's 74. Or 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. So it's $1.74. So you can see making that dollar and using what I know about numbers and number sense makes counting even large groups of coins less scary and much more manageable. So now that I have 2 coin values here, I have $1.29 or 129 cents, and I have $1.74 or 174 cents. I know $1.29 or 129 cents is less than, I want to read from left to right, is less than $1.74. So if it's less than, I can do my 1 dot, greater than, 2 dots. That's my symbol for is less than. Okay. If they have a hard time reading left to right, I usually have them use a L and a G to help them. Before you write the is less than, I'll say this set is less. This set is greater. So this helps me read. I start here. $1.29 is less than, and there's my words, $1.74. So I can compare those sets with words and a symbol. Thanks for tuning in.